So, where do I start? Chelsea's fourth defeat in 5 Premiership games, and the chasing pack catching, and Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Where can I start? The team sheet. I was surprised by the team sheet. I'd heard that Pulisic looked really tired, particularly in training. And I was surprised to see him there because he's a young man, come from a different league, arguably a little bit slower, who didn't play very many games last season because he slipped down the pecking order behind Sancho, and didn't have much of a pre-season rest, and he's played a lot of games lately. And one thing about the lad, he always gives 100%. So I was very surprised to see him in the side, if I'm honest. Now I can see Frank Lampard's dilemma, because let's all be honest, when Callum Hudson-Odoi has come on, he hasn't exactly pulled up any trees, has he? He gives the ball away a lot at the moment. I don't remember that in his game before he got injured, but I can't see why that would come into the game because of an injury. He doesn't look to have any concentration. Certainly doesn't get back like Willian does. So I can see Lampard's problems, his struggle mentally to the actual, how can I put it, the actual urge to play Pulisic until Callum Hudson-Odoi comes good again. But I think it went against us yesterday. But it wasn't only Pulisic that looked tired. The whole team did, which is a big worry, you know, in mid-December, when you think the season ends in May potentially. But the rest of the team sheet as well, I was a little bit stunned, because we know as Chelsea supporters that teams like Bournemouth are going to come and they're going to stick 10 men behind the ball. We know that. So you need to open them up. Now, I have been a critic of Reece James. Brilliant going forward, brilliant prospect. He's going to be a great player for Chelsea, but he does get back into position very slowly. So I can see, again, if they're working on that in training, why he wouldn't be a starter. But his ability going forward and his crossing, I think we needed that yesterday. And on the left side, I personally was surprised not to see Marco Alonso for the same reason. You all know I'm an Emerson fan. Emerson is a far better defender than Alonso. A more complete all-round player, because he can go forward, but Alonso is more of an attacking threat. So I thought, bearing in mind we've got to open them up, I was expecting to see those two there, possibly with Aspie going into central defence with Rudiger. So I was surprised at the team sheet, you know, right from word go. Also, Kovacic, I know he's played a lot of games lately. I can see Frank wanting to give him a rest, but when someone's on fire, and again, I thought we missed him yesterday. Jorginho looked tired like the rest of them yesterday. A few forward balls. The passing was awful. That's as a poorer Chelsea passing display as I've seen in years. Tammy Abraham, the ball just would not stick to him yesterday. Didn't even look like scoring. Mount was one of the most energetic in the side, but yesterday he was going in and out of that game. I thought he should have scored one-on-one with a keeper, but it's easy for me to say. I can say that from where I am. When you've got the keeper bearing down you, it was a good save, but I just think, you know, when you've got that much room and initially that much, get it away quicker. The other problem we had yesterday is what we've had for ages is that we don't want to shoot. We want to walk the ball into the goal. I'm a big fan of Willian, but yesterday the amount of times his crosses hit the first man, and not just him, everyone was at fault for it. But Willian, who's been one of our better players this season, didn't have a great game. Having said that, there was a chance just before he went off. You remember the Emerson header that you've got to finish that. You've got to finish that type of chance, and we're not. Created by Willian, so I would have kept him on. When I see Willian going off, I was shocked. And Jorginho for Batshuayi, I could not see that. Mount coming off for Batshuayi, I could see, but when you've got a guy who is capable of a probing pass, is capable of splitting a defence with a pass, why bring him up? Why bring him off? I just did not understand the substitutions yesterday. Not being critical of Frank Lampard, he obviously had something in his head. I, as you know, support the manager. I'm not going to say, oh, your in-game management wasn't up to scratch. When I've not played international football, I've not seen the players training. It could well be one of them was carrying a slight injury. We don't know. He's not going to come out in a press conference and say that and give the opposition the information. But there's a lot on social media, the usual suspects. Oh, his in-game management's rough. I'm starting to see Lampard for what he is. We knew. We all knew. If you didn't know, you don't know your football. We knew that having such a young side, not being able to freshen up the squad, it was going to be a bumpy ride. We knew that. That said, in my opinion, we should still be beating the Bournemouths of this world, and we've got the players, when they're on their game, to do that. And yesterday, they weren't on their game. It was a shocking display from everyone apart from the two centre-halves, Rudiger and Zuma, who's the only criticism I would give them is some of the balls they were trying. I mean, I don't know what Rudiger was doing sometimes. It was just long balls that no one had a hope of catching. Maybe it was just he was just running out of patience, but at least he was trying. And the centre partnership looked pretty strong actually. And little Kante ran his heart out, bless him, and didn't have very much support from anywhere on that pitch. So that's all I can really say about yesterday's game. It was dire. It was one of the worst games I've seen in years, and I'm not saying they didn't put the effort in, but they just looked whacked. So I'm hoping now 2 or 3 days off, just resting up, if this is what the season's done to them so far. I mean, years ago, when there was muddy pitches at Christmas, if you should have seen Stamford Bridge, you could have actually, it looked like a ploughed field by December. And I could understand it to an extent then. But now they're playing on a carpet, basically. I don't understand why we're that tired. Pulisic, yeah. Pre-season, he had a week's rest. And he hardly played football last year. So, and I know some players, Willian coming back from an injury, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I put his form down to coming back from an injury, still doesn't explain his wayward passing, and I think lack of concentration. What that's all about, I just don't know. But a lot of that side looked very, very tired. So let's hope 2 or 3 days rest and a 4 weeks training. Well, 3 or 4, a couple of days training. Good hard training. And we're ready for Tottenham, because one thing for sure, Mourinho will have into fine detail how to beat us. And if we play like we did against Bournemouth, it'll be a very little file that just says, turn up. Anyway, sorry to not be more upbeat about it. I still think we're surpassing what I ever thought we'd do this season. So let's just say a bad day at the office. But 3 out of 5 bad days at the office. We're creeping towards a bad week at the office, and no, sorry. Need effort, and we need players, even if you change the whole 11, that are going to go out there and run for 90 minutes. So, let's hope it's a good Christmas and a Merry Christmas. Speak to you after the Tottenham game. Up to Chelsea.